I would like to tell you first what I expected. What I thought creating personal video diaries on a platform like YouTube as a highly sensitive person would be like. I expected the worst. I really did. I expected to be misunderstood. I expected to be laughed at, ridiculed, bullied, and then some. Yeah. So you might ask yourself, why did she open this channel then? And I asked myself the same question, actually. And then I flipped it around right at the beginning of this journey. And that was actually quite helpful because I asked myself, why not? Why not? If there is a desire within you, or let's call it a dream or an aspiration, a vision, to express yourself, you can try to suppress it, but what happens then is, and that's what I believe at least, you give in to your fears and your negative beliefs about yourself, and they start to manifest. And I got to a point where I realized that the main reason that was holding me back from expressing myself creatively here were mainly negative beliefs about myself that I had adapted or introjected from the past. I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but growing up as a highly sensitive teenager with a creative soul in a highly conservative rural area, in Germany in my case, that's no joke. It can give you a feeling of being an alien and, not fitting in anywhere. And the notion I basically got was that something is inherently wrong with me. Because everybody around me seemed to function so effortlessly and to live their lives, the way it's supposed to be, and just didn't seem to be as sensitive as I was. And I felt so alienated and lonely at times, because I felt so different from everyone else, but in a negative way, that I really had some dark thoughts cross my mind at times. And yeah, that's the first time I'm being so blunt about this on my channel. And that's actually quite freeing. Yeah, and there's already one thing I didn't expect. I didn't expect YouTube to be an outlet that is actually freeing and kind of healing. For me, YouTube is like this vast pool of collective consciousness where nearly everything and everyone has, a place. It's just this digital space where individual experiences and ideas and, creativity can flow together, which creates this kind of archive of human thought, culture, expression. Also, if you think that you're too old to create a channel here on YouTube, I can tell you right away that there is a community and a space for everyone here, no matter your age, no matter your background or your interests. If you are not fitting into a specific mold or niche that is in demand, it can take a little bit longer for you to, to attract your community or your crowd. But that doesn't matter because there are so many hidden gems here because they just get less attention than the sparkly, shining stuff, That's just something we need to be aware of here. The worth of your videos can't be measured with numerical metrics as much as your worth as an individual, as a human being, can't be measured with numbers. I opened this channel here almost a year ago, last December 2023. I'm 41 now, and so it has been almost a year of consistent creating and posting, almost weekly. And it has been such a wonderful journey so far, and a real growing experience. I tried to summarize some key points that might inspire you if you can identify with my story, if you consider yourself to be a highly sensitive person too, and maybe want to express yourself creatively here. So first I would like to mention YouTube as a space for authentic expression. Let's put it here. YouTube has pretty unexpectedly become something like a sanctuary for me, where I can be vulnerable and authentic. And you know, as an HSP or highly sensitive person, external environments can be quite overwhelming. And here I'm just able to control my narrative and my pace, and it's a platform where I can explore my emotions and ideas that are just sometimes misunderstood in the outside world, or that's at least what I've experienced in the past. And here I just feel seen and connected. I also consider myself extremely lucky with my community here, and I really also prefer to be a small creator and to have like an intimate community where I can just communicate with everyone and reply to comments, because that's something that's extremely important for me. I just feel if someone takes the time and the energy to write me a comment, I just want to reply if I can. So the second point I called video diaries as a tool for self-reflection. And when I opened this channel, so I didn't know what I would do, how I would express myself. It just happened so to be video diaries, and I never know what each week will bring. It's always like kind of this mystery and just box of surprises. I don't know how to say it in English. But recording video diaries also just allows me each week to process my emotions, because also as an HSP, I'm just very, deeply affected by my internal and external worlds. And, having this creative outlet, it just helps me so much just to externalize and to express and to reflect on those emotions. So also this YouTube here, this channel has become like a personal growth archive, I would say, because I can revisit my past moments, really. They are like time capsules, and I can look at them and I can just see how much I've come. That's just amazing, I think. So the third key I called building connection through vulnerability. I would say one of the most unexpected outcomes here is the real connection that I built with others. There are real friendships that evolved through YouTube. I would never have expected that. Yeah, by sharing my experiences, my very vulnerable experiences here on YouTube, I found others to resonate with my journey, and this just created really a feeling of connection. That's just something that gives me lots of hope. And yeah. So the fourth key I called creativity as a form of self-protection. As a highly sensitive person, I tend to experience emotions very intensely, and creating on YouTube allows me to really channel my sensitivity into something artistic and healing. And it's just, I would say, probably calms down my nervous system, or kind of is good for my parasympathetic nervous system. And it just helps me to protect my emotional health. And, you know, while I'm actually able to turn it into kind of creative resource. And also the medium of video, online video, just provides a buffer from overstimulation of real-time interactions. So the last key I called overcoming perfectionism through consistency. Yeah, I often feel a lot of pressure to be perfect, especially when sharing personal content, because I feel, very vulnerable, and perfectionism, as we all know, is like a form of self-protection. And but it can really be a burden. So, and I think perfectionism is also something that is very common among HSPs. It just used to make it very difficult for me to put myself out there. I used to sabotage myself a lot. It's just this fear of judgment and failure. And, you know, here's the thing. Hosting weekly content on YouTube has its downsides, because it can create pressure, for sure. But it has also a very positive side, because it has kind of forced me to release that idea of perfection. Because when you commit to a consistent schedule, you're simply not able to polish every detail and, you know, to make everything perfect. It's just not possible. And also, I would say that the act of creating and posting regularly, consistently, taught me to accept imperfection as a part of the process, really. And I also realized that vulnerability and authenticity are really far more valuable than presenting like a flawless product. And I think especially with AI on the rise, I just feel that there is like an increasing yearning and just hunger for human realness and for human connection instead of perfection or artificiality. Yeah. I don't want to downplay the downsides, especially for people with, you know, that are highly sensitive. I don't want to say that YouTube is a medium that is fitting for everyone, because especially putting yourself out there as a highly sensitive person can be quite overwhelming here. It can be overstimulating. Of course, there are negative, so-called negative comments at times, but I also have a filter mode on. I would recommend everyone to do that if you're a highly sensitive person, because it filters out like offensive comments, for example. And you also can choose certain filter words. Of course, sometimes there are also comments where people project. That's just so important to, you know, recognize that and not to take it personal. For me, it's still nerve-wracking each week to post something. I still feel, every time I feel like a fish out of water when I post a video. Because sometimes I'm just not sure, have I exposed myself too much, you know? Are people going to relate to what I created? Am I authentic enough? And questions like these, you know, just all this self-doubt is always creeping in. I think here it is so important to understand that if you want to use this medium as something that feeds you back, you know, not only through numerical metrics and empty things like these, because that will never be sustainable. If you want to create sustainably here, it's just so important to listen to your gut, to listen to your heart. I just feel it is so important to just take breaks in order to gather new energy. Yeah, to create here in a self-loving way. That's the most important thing. Yeah, so this was in a nutshell, how creating personal video diaries as a highly sensitive person on YouTube impacted my life so far. I really hope this can inspire you to embrace your own sensitivity and to find creative ways to express yourself, whether it's here or somewhere else. And please also feel free to express yourself in my comment section. It's really a safe space, and I just sending you a big hug through this digital tube, and thank you so much for watching. And I just hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.